on the whole time.
And you'll just work out the volume. I tend to speak. A very warm welcome to TULETT Park here in Christchurch, New Zealand, for this Deliver Easy Chatham Cup third round fixture between NOMADS United and Nelson Suburbs. Our referee today is Mike Killock, and I'll give you the lineups as we wait for the players just to make their way onto the pitch. Starting with the home team. Very settled 11 starting. We are without Will Holland today, picked up a yellow card in the last fixture, so is suspended. Regan Frame in goal, John Oakman, Daniel Metherell, Jacob Anderson, Josh Collett, the back line. Kenny Willock sitting in front of them, and then Caleb Cotton and Guy Reeves in front of him. Front line on the right, Will Turner, Flynn Holden, Gus McIntyre. On the subs bench is Hamish Gillett, Will McKee, Hugo King, Jesse Burge and Ryan Ellis. Captained by Jacob Anderson, a massive day for Jacob Anderson, making his 200th appearance for the first team. Nelson Suburbs are as follows. Corey Wilson in goal. At right back, Logan Bunning, Lucas Hogg, Martine Keys, Ethan Turner. In front of them, Corey Vickers, who's the captain. And in front of him, Noah Platt and John Reynolds. Front three, Ben Pollock, Lenny Huell and Jay Anderson. On their bench, Trevor Myers is 10, making a comeback after a knee injury. Ryan Stewart, that's Skippy, the coach. Then they've got Jacob Lads, Sam Thomas, both will be making their debuts if they get on, and Fergus Keys, who has played just once before. So the Chatham Cup offers a rich history in New Zealand football. And must say that last year, Nelson, they lived the dream almost all the way to the semi-finals, beating Birkenhead in Nelson in the quarterfinals, 2-1. And finally, the dream ended in the semi-final up in Auckland against Auckland United. And they'll be really looking forward to seeing if they can do the same, if not better, this year. NOMADS this year have beaten Coastal Spirit in the first round 3-1 after extra time and beaten Christchurch United 2-0 after extra time. Nelson Suburbs, they had Rangers Blenheim in the first round, beat them 6-1, and in the last round, FC Nelson, that was a 4-0 win. We've got four mainland teams at the beginning of this third round. Ferrymead Bays, Kashmir Technical, and the two in front of you. Ferrymead Bays and Technical had a fantastic game on Friday night, which Tech won late 4-3. Anyway, back to the action in front of us. Looks like a Nelson Suburbs kickoff. Mr. Killock checks, and he blows the whistle to start the game right now. Vickers hits chips long to Josh Collett, who looks to clear, wanted too much time on the ball. That's an early chance. Very early chance, which Frame managed to parry. Still pressure on. Oakman gets it clear and Turner brings it out. Very early chance for Nelson Suburbs. Good job, Regan Frame was on the ball. That comes out, that's hit a hand, but the referee says play on. Ball played through to Anderson, who takes on Oakman, and Oakman gives the corner away. A solid start from Nelson. Considering they drove down from Nelson yesterday, stayed overnight. It's a very good start. Skippy, the coach, will be very happy. And in comes the corner, and that was Collett, I think, was up, getting it clear for Nomads. So ball's up in the air. Finn Holdham gets the touch, plays it along the line. Cotton will chase, and Hogg gets clear. Nomads want the game to settle down a bit after that frenetic first couple of minutes. So Oakman with the throw-in. Willocks probably gets his first touch to Metherell, pops it across to the captain on his special day. An hour and a half ago when we got here, you could not see across the pitch. There was thick fog. And thankfully the sun has come out and we're in for a beautiful Sunday morning stroke afternoon. Straight out, throw in to Nelson. Ethan Turner having the ball in his hands. Goes along the line, Metherell up, wins that header, and it falls for Anderson, who plays back to Frame. Frame slows things down, just getting a little grip on the game, and then goes long to McIntyre. But and there's an accidental handball from Vickers, gives Willocks the opportunity to potentially float one up. Looks like Anderson's going forward. Yes, Metherell's joining him. Cotton and Collett. Oakman all stay back. First opportunity. Willocks chips it in. Vickers gets up well to half clear. And that falls nicely for Nelson to clear. Referee plays on. Loose ball from Willocks, unfortunately. Should be a good battle between Flynn Holden and Lucas Hogg, I'd imagine. Hogg very solid in the middle of that Nelson Suburbs defence. Gone long, but too long. Corey Wilson, the long-serving Nelson goalkeeper, gets underway again. That's straight down Metherell's throat. He heads hard to Vickers, who heads on. That lands Vickers' first time, and Collett does well with the header back to Frame. Anderson brings forward. Bit of pressure on Willocks. Metherell needs to get rid, and he does well out to Oakman. Oakman feeds just too long for Will Turner, but a nice ball as it was. Inside the left back, outside the centre back. Played short out to Keys, who looks long. TULETT gets the final touch out. Logan Bunning takes the throw in. TULETT and Reynolds, the new player this season from Wellington Olympic. Fine player, John Reynolds. Polak, Willocks does well, gets the better of him. Anderson. That's a bit loose from Jacob Anderson, but gets away with it in for a throw-in. Hope you're enjoying the stream today, coming to you through the Kiwi Dad production team. Flynn Holden keeps that in well. Turner looks to bring it in, and he's just kept, no, that's gone out as the flag goes up from the touchy in the far corner. Collett gets up above Vickers. Bit of aerial ping pong. Willocks chips it forward. He's under pressure, but does well. Does Martine Keys. Oh, Collett's in on him, doesn't give him an inch. Oh, that's a great ball through to Holden. Holden's got an opportunity. Oh, and unfortunately, he's just fluffed his lines. But Josh Collett was onto it so quickly there, and then played a super ball through to Flynn Holden, who unfortunately fluffed his shot. Good opportunity, though. Wilson plays short to Hogg. Hogg goes long, looking for Anderson out there on the left side of the attacking side for Nelson Suburbs. Falls nicely to Reynolds. Reynolds plays a beautiful ball, but Metherell and Anderson managed to take care of it ahead of Huel. So throw in here, and it looks as though he's going to be attempting a semi-long throw. And it goes back to him, chips it in. Collett gets up well, and Gus McIntyre looks for Flynn Holden. Oh, there's no messing around there from Keys. All fair, but just letting Flynn Holden know. Nice pat on the back from both of them to one another. I think Flynn will put that in his little black book for the rest of the game and see if he can get the better of him later on. Willocks plays it long for Turner to chase, and that's gone straight. That's gone out by Keys for a throw-in halfway inside the Nelson Suburbs half. Turner. Good control, wins the throw-in, which Oakman will take. Oakman back to Willocks. Willocks looks to blocked by Suburbs. Collett gets a touch. Willocks through to Cotton, and that's a great ball. Oh, Wilson's out beautifully. Really quick thinking from Corey Wilson in the Suburbs goal. Willocks wins it back really well there. Gus McIntyre just couldn't find, and Polak looks as though he's got the ball now and feeds. Vickers. A little bit of a heavy touch from him. And the ball does go out, and it's a Nomads throw-in. Anderson looks for that ball inside the... That looks to be a tactic from Nomads today, playing inside the full-back, outside the centre-back. They've tried that probably 3 times, and just too long with each one. Wilson's certainly been onto it, so to speak, in the Suburbs goal. Hogg scrambles back to Wilson. Holden nearly gets a foot in. Flynn Holden's offside there, so he can't play it. And it's rolled out to Hogg. There's Reynolds.
You can't really see them in the shadows,
Frame plays out to Metherell, back to Frame. Who goes? Oh, Vickers has read that well. Again, back plays a little 1-2. Vickers gets it across, but Anderson's there to clear. Pressure is definitely still on Nomads. Vickers out wide here, and that's blocked well by Kayla Cotton. Throw in, which Vickers looks as though he's going to take, although he leaves it for Logan Bunning. Bunning takes, Reynolds picks up. Bunning will look to try and get this across, which he does. Anderson gets clear. And it's back to the halfway line. Polak to Reynolds. Vickers looks for the short ball across to Polak, I think. Polak never too worried about having a dig from this kind of distance. Need to be stronger there to win that from Reynolds. This is dangerous. They're happy to have a dig, and that's very sharp from Frame, who takes it very well. Nelson Suburbs never scared of having a dig from outside the box, as shown. Bunning with the throw-in. Well, that's dangerous. Comes inside, but half cleared, not cleared far enough. There's an opportunity. Need to get the ball clear, and they do. But certainly Suburbs have started very well. It's gone straight out on that opportunity. Talking to one of the Nelson coaches before the game and about last year's quarter-final when they beat Birkenhead at home 2-1, and very late winner. And I remember watching that game, and it was a cracking goal to win the game. And he said, quote unquote, the best day of his life. Hopefully his wife and children aren't tuned in. Collett brings it up, looks for Turner. Reeves first time out to Oakman. But struggled to keep hold of it, and Nelson Suburbs have broken to Reynolds, who looks for Vickers but just couldn't find him on that occasion. And Collett calmly puts his foot on the ball and goes back to Frame, who pops it out to Metherell to start afresh. Cotton running through the middle, shouting for it. Metherell tries to find him. Nice little header from Willocks. Back to Anderson, and they start again. That's good from Hogg, interception, but it's gone straight to... Can't make out who that's gone straight to. I think it was Turner. Holden gives... And that's a good effort from Cottam. And first action, really, for Corey Wilson. Reasonably easy save, but needed to do it properly as somebody was coming into on the rebound if he hadn't. Huell. Oh, Metherell's used his strength really well there to not allow him through. And Collett starts again. He almost got himself in trouble. Hogg goes straight to Hogg. They can rebuild. Reynolds to Vickers. These two, you would think, are key to a positive result for Suburbs if they are to get it today. Mix up there, Reynolds grabs it, and now he's pushing forward. Feeds Polak, who looks to come inside. Plays it back to Reynolds. And out for a corner. Exceptional start from Nelson Suburbs, considering the travel they've had. They have been really quite inconsistent this season. Their league form has been patchy, sitting 6th on 12 points in the Southern League. Corner comes over, frames there, and that's a nice clean take from Regan Cramer. He throws the ball early, and I think he's... Caleb Cotton knows he's not going to get the best of that. That's not the greatest of clearances, but Wilson does find... I'm not sure what that is. That comes out to Bunning. Bunning feeds Reynolds. Bunning inside. Falls nicely to Reynolds again. And he chips over. It's a free header. But can't get the accuracy or the pace on the header. Jacob Anderson out to Josh Collett. Collett goes straight to Hogg, who really doesn't get that clear. Keys heads clear. Cotton into Reeves, but Hogg shows his strength, and that's a great ball out wide to Jay Anderson. Anderson running at Oakman, and Anderson's got the better of Oakman. He pulls back, and that's 1-0. That's 1-0. Huell, I think it was, who got the final touch, but Jay Anderson really did a superb job. Held it up, then went past Oakman really well, and then looked up, played it back, and that's a side foot into the corner, and that's a cracking goal. And you've got to say at this early stage that Nelson Suburbs deserve that lead. They really have come out the blocks well this morning. A reminder that Nomads are on an 11-game unbeaten run in all competitions. So they should feel that while this is a mishap, they have every opportunity of getting back into the game. So Nelson Suburbs 1-0 lead in this Chatham Cup. Deliver Easy Chatham Cup third round fixture. To Cotton. Feeds Oakman. And that's Guy Reeves, who looks to find Turner, but to no luck. And the ball goes out for a Nomads throw. John Oatman's had a fine season. He'll be disappointed that Jay Anderson got the better of him there, but he has had a very good season so far, so it's early days. Nice ball into Turner, who feeds Collett. Collett drives in, plays into the middle to Willocks. Willocks feeds Cotton. Cotton goes for the return. Oh, very close to Finn Holden, surrounded by Nelson, and managed to get their way through Polak. Josh Collett all over Polak and does really well, wins it back. Gus McIntyre looking for Cotton, but that's too long, and Wilson had it covered anyway. So those of you listening who know not too much about the Chatham Cup, it was founded in 1923, 103 years ago. It's really the New Zealand equivalent of the English FA Cup. Over 100 teams enter at the beginning, first teams of all the clubs across the nation. And at the end of the day, there's a final in September, which Wellington Olympic have won the last 2 years. But they won't be doing it this year. They were knocked out by Miramar 2-1. Miramar had another win yesterday, so they're through to the fourth round. Good defence from Suburbs there. I think that was Ethan Turner. Nice control from Metherell. Let's throw in again. Anderson intercepting. Oatman into Reeves. Ball bouncing. Hogg chips up to. That's a nice nod on to Polak. He's got nobody to find in the middle, but shows some pace. And thankfully, Josh Collett has more pace to get that out. Cotton turns well, but Corey Vickers has a little bit of a push, which I think Caleb Cotton will be quite pleased about, because he probably had nudged it a little far. But that's a free kick to Nomads. Metherell into Holden, but touch didn't let him down a bit. A lovely flick onto Anderson again, who looks very dangerous. And John Oatman's done very well there, really well. Good defending. That's a lovely turn. It's an opportunity, plays it back, Metherell's intercepted and he gets it clear, but that was a beautiful turn. Left the defender for dead. Certainly nobody doubting Nelson's ability going forward. Scored more goals than most clubs in the league this season, whilst being sixth, but have conceded quite a few as well. A lot of talent going forward. Vickers gets up, plans to Polak, uses his chest, but that's again Vickers. Collett gets up, and that should be McIntyre. Guy Reeves left it behind. Reynolds has it. He's dangerous man, Reynolds, into Polak, and that's a good sliding block from Jacob Anderson, which gives Nelson Suburbs another opportunity with a corner, which Reynolds will take. Wee bit flat, no, Nomads so far. A lot of that to do with the pressure they're under from this Nelson Suburbs team. That comes flying over. A lot of it. Metherell gets under it, semi-cleared. Colton could have done with another touch, but didn't get it. Killock and Guy Reeves. I think that's probably a fair shout, a little bit over-enthusiastic with that, and knocks Huell, I think it is, over, and this is an extremely dangerous position, and you would imagine Johnny Reynolds will be lining this up. This is about as good a position as any free kick taker would want. About 20 yards out, central. And there's no ifs, buts or maybes. Reynolds is going for it. And that is a perfect free kick. Top corner, Regan Frame, absolutely zero chance of getting that. I think he actually managed to get a hand to it, remarkably. And that is 2-0 to Nelson Suburbs. Johnny Reynolds, what a fantastic free kick, and disappointing free kick to give away, and they have paid the price, Nomads United, and find themselves in a position they haven't found themselves in a long time. 2-0 down in the first half. Matt Jansen will be looking at his bench and thinking, what does he need to do to get his team into this game? 29 minutes gone. Suburbs leading 2-0. There's a wayward ball from Willocks to Collett and a few shaking of heads. This is a big next 15 minutes running into half time. Certainly can't afford to go 3 down. Remembering last week, Nelson came out the blocks against Coastal and were 4-0 up at half time. Game over, really, and that's nice from Turner. Turner feeds McIntyre. He's got Holdham in the box and Reeves. He looks to take on Keys, who gives the corner away, but with some good defending. From an attacking perspective, as Jesse Burge, who scored 2 in the English Cup on Tuesday night, 2 crackers actually. Well, he's on the bench. Ryan Ellis, that's a poor. Metherell tries to turn, can't get hold of it. Cotton, that's gone straight up in the air, and that's well won by Huell. Poor corner. Got to be better than that, I'm afraid. Vickers in space. Plays it wide to Bunning. Just about manages to keep it in. Well, that's a good ball, and Josh Collett tried to intercept and got it wrong, I'm afraid. Plays to Huell. Anderson comes in really strongly and does well, but he's looking a bit of a frustrated figure. Jacob Anderson needs to lead from the front in this situation. So throw in Bunning to take. Reynolds given the opportunity to turn too easily. Polak on the edge. Oh, he's hit the post. Given too much room on the edge of the box. Nomads are asking for trouble. They give this team that much room. Vickers back to Bunning. Inside, back to Vickers. This is critical time for Nomads. Polak, good interception from Reeves, who plays short, but that's not too... Yeah, the accuracy needs to be better. Huell, Reynolds competes with Collett, but Collett does manage to get clear. Nelson Suburbs very much bossing this game at the moment. Again, Vickers gets the ball centrally, lots of time for him to find. That's crossed very deep, but he's up well. That was almost a third. McIntyre looks to find Holden. That's gone straight in the air, up in the air from Hogg. You do feel the 50-50 balls are being won by one team and one team only at the moment. And the players stopped for one of the Nelson players who might be Jay Anderson, I think. A slight knock, but it seems fine. Jacob Anderson brought the team together. So drop ball, Reynolds will play it. And off we go. Jacob Anderson gets clear. Flynn Holden tries to put Flynn Holden pressure on Hogg. He's got the better of him. Can he get this in? He's popped it just over the bar. Oh, real strength from Flynn Holden. And unfortunately just went for the dink over the keeper and gave it slightly too much. Great work from Flynn Holden. Getting the better of Lucas Hogg on that occasion. Vickers gets up. Metherell does also. Vickers again, nothing on that. Willocks, it's aerial ping pong. Reeves up. Holden tries to bring down, which he does. Feeds Cotton to McIntyre. McIntyre's looking to cross, and that comes off Reynolds for a corner. Critical we get some good deliveries with these corners. McIntyre to take. Holden, Anderson, Metherell. Your key people needing to get on the end of this to get Nomads back in the game. That comes flying over. That's a good opportunity. Wilson gets a half punch on it and does well. That lands for Willocks. He's hit it, and it's gone over the bar. Metherell and Vickers up and went over both of them. I thought, this is dangerous. And Metherell hacks clear only to Bunning, who feeds Reynolds. Reynolds to Vickers. Vickers plays wide left to running on to Bunnings, who I don't think can keep that in. No, he can't. So it's a goal kick. But this Reynolds and Vickers central pairing look as though they're controlling an awful lot of this game at the moment. Anderson looks to feed Holden. Holden slips, but Keys off the chest straight into touch. McIntyre. Vickers very calm. Mustn't let him turn him. He does sort of, and that's lots of space for Reynolds to run. And Metherell, yes, gets in well. Reynolds probably popped it a little bit too far. Vickers again. Just giving a lot of time. Metherell goes long to Holden, who's got that on his chest. Vickers comes back, gets a toe in. McIntyre tries to feed Holden, lands to Cotton. Cotton feeds Reeves. Reeves pushes Reynolds off, feeds Oakman. Oh, it's loose from Oakman, straight to Huell. And Huell goes part, and that's great work from Willocks, but not, needed a very important foot from the captain there. But still pressure on. And Jacob Anderson, that's the first yellow card of the game for Jacob Anderson. Now he's going to have to be careful the rest of his game. And I'm afraid that means he's out of next week's Southern League fixture. Anyway, back to here. Jacob Anderson goes in the book. Reynolds. You know, the last time he got over a free kick in this game. But this is a lot further out. Not a shooting opportunity, but he'll probably look for Vickers. And he finds Vickers. And that was all too easy, I feel. And thankfully, I think it was played inside to Jay Anderson, who didn't make the most of it. Really, the shouting you can hear is from Ryan Stewart. I'll come back to that. TULETT, long way forward, and that's fallen nicely for Ethan Turner, but with pressure on him from Will Turner. But Reynolds really is showing his class in this first half. Anderson, McIntyre plays it across to Metherell. Willocks looks for Holden, but that's dealt with reasonably well by Hogg, but falls nicely to Willocks. Willocks out to Oakman, heavy touch, but he gets away with it. He took on Ethan Turner, who gives another corner away. And it looks like Guy Reeves, number 21, will go across to take this. So a reminder, 2-0. It stands to Nelson Suburbs. That's a really poor corner. But lands to Mederill. He'll try and pop it back across. And that's now stood for Reeves, just inside the box, who chips it back and makes a real mess of things. After a poor corner, you thought that maybe they might be able to make something of it. Yes, the noise from Ryan Stewart, the Nelson coach, is very much press, 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 you know, really putting pressure on the midfield. Oh, that's a great ball through. And Oakman has done really well and desperately, but this is another opportunity, and that's an own goal. Oh, no. I thought that had gone in. No, it's gone into the side netting for a corner off Cotton. He didn't know much about that. So that's a corner, and pressure still mounting. Reynolds will take it. Floats over. Frame gets a good punch on it. Turner too short for McIntyre. McIntyre will look as though he's going to take the throw, but probably leave it. That was very, very close to making it 3-0. Oakman goes very long. That's easy pickings for Corey Wilson, who plays it short back out to Hogg. Hogg will go long. Anderson nice and calmly to Willocks. Willocks to Turner, Will Turner of Nomads. Oakman goes long. Holden's got the better of Hogg, but Keys has come across really well there and puts it out for a Nomads throw. At the moment, that centre-back partnership working really well for Nelson. You do feel that if Nomads could somehow get the next goal to make it 2-1, they really would have a good opportunity of getting back into this game. I say, oh, that's a good job blocked. Cotton got hold of that quite well. Oakman flies it over again. Turner is beaten. Now this is a quick breakaway potentially. I think that's Polak on the ball maybe. Plays it inside to Reynolds, who dinks it beautifully over to Huell, I think that is. He looks up, and Anderson thankfully is there to head clear. And Vickers, referee says play on. Reynolds on the ball. Back to Keys. That's straight to Collett's head. And that's loose from McIntyre. They've got it back again. Collett might try and shield this in for a throw-in, which he does. As I was saying before, you do feel as if Nomads can get the next goal to make it 2-1, one thing's for absolute sure, Nelson have a very, very inexperienced bench. They have two lads who, if they come on, will make their debuts. One will make their second appearance. Ryan Stewart, the coach, has been named, and I'm told that he certainly won't come on. And then you've got Trevor Myers, who's got he's on the bench, but he's recovering from a bad knee injury and is potentially not really ready. Anyway, free kick taken short. Cotton plays Collett inside Cotton. Reynolds is right there. Willock's got a little bit of time to play. Turner And that's loose again. There's too many loose passes from the Nomads boys at the moment. This half. Anderson gets up well. Oakman short again. That's what I'm saying. And they've lost that 50-50. And that's Shule. He's done well. He's gone past several. And that's straight into the arms of Frame, thankfully. Heading very much towards the end of this first half into Holdham. If we can get the best of this, there's a few round him there. He's still very strong. Lands to Turner. Turner, no backlift. Oh, and that was actually probably heading towards the top corner. And Wilson had to pop it over with one hand. So fourth or fifth corner to Nomads. McIntyre over again to take this one. McIntyre delivers. Holden, that was intercepted well. Willocks, Turner, straight into the arms of Wilson. Easy pickings for him. And that is the whistle from referee Killock to bring the first half to an end. That's a 2-0 lead to Nelson Suburbs in this third round Deliver Easy Chatham Cup fixture. All to play for when from a Nomads perspective. They're certainly not out of this game, but what a very, very good first half from Nelson Suburbs. We'll see you back in about 15 minutes. Welcome back to TULETT Park. Reminder, Nelson Suburbs 2-0 up at half-time. We have an immediate reaction from NOMADS United with substitution. Number 20, Jesse Burge, coming on for, I think, Gus McIntyre. Good positive decision. Jesse Burge come off the bench for NOMADS on quite a few occasions now and scored critical goals, scored twice in the English Cup on Tuesday night. 2 beautiful finishes. So let's hope Jesse, with his high energy game and eye for goal, can make a bit of a difference. Mr. TULETT checks. Caleb Cotton kicks off. And away we go. 45 minutes for NOMADS to turn this one round. Reynolds, if he carries, and Reynolds and Vickers carry on like they did the first half, you've got to think maybe it's going to be very difficult for NOMADS to get in. They really were both excellent first half, and that's Reynolds there. Oh, he's played that ball beautifully. This is a great opportunity, and they've hit the bar. Just an unbelievable pass from Reynolds. So Frame goes long, tries to find Hold'em. Hogg takes care of that. Oakman straight into touch. Throw in. Which Turner will take. Goes down the line. Straight to Metherell, who is back to Turner. Straight to Willocks. First touch for Jesse Burge. Keys comes across at the back, heads straight into touch. Burge definitely playing in a very forward position, as opposed to McIntyre, who's very wide. Guy Reeves gives away the foul. Pressure comes off Suburbs. And Corey Wilson just trots over to get things underway again. Long he goes. Metherell gets up well. Reeves up again. Kept in. Back to Vickers. Goes for his customary. A nice little touch from Anderson, but thankfully for NOMADS, Kuehl wasn't on the same wavelength. Jacob Anderson, remembering he's on a yellow card. That falls to Caleb Cotton, who tries to feed Burge but doesn't get through to him. Jesse Burge has gone over onto that left side, but he seems to be having a little bit of a freer rein. Certainly come here with the intention of pressing as soon as our defence gets it, giving them no time. Cotton goes long, and can Oakman keep that in? He does, and he wins the corner. Very beautiful ball there from Caleb Cotton. John Oakman had made the run, really good movement from him as well. And Jesse Burge comes over to take the resulting corner. Hopefully a good delivery you're looking for. That seems to be a pretty good delivery. And it falls to Turner. Willocks back to Turner on the edge. Feeds it out back to Burge. Oh, just needed a touch from Reeves, but straight into the arms of Wilson, who holds on really well. Wilson goes long, a bit of calls for a foul, but referee Killett plays on. Been quite a week for Mike Killett, both his boys scoring goals for their respective clubs in cup games this week. That's a throw in a pretty decent position. Logan Bunning to take control of. Now, Nomads cannot afford any slip-ups. So it comes across to Turner. Turner goes long, and that's too long. Cotton plays centrally into Willocks. Willocks finds Oakman out wide. Nods it over. And has Killett called that? Yes, he has. Looked like a foul to me as well from Jay Anderson on John Oakman. Real winger's foul, that one. So this is an excellent position. You wouldn't think Kenny Willocks will have a go from here. Scored a beautiful free kick the other week against Wanaka. So he stands over. Vickers and Anderson having a few pushes and shoves, nothing to write home about. Willocks to deliver. Poor delivery. Reynolds heads clear. Cotton again feeds out to Metherell, stayed up. That gets a deflection, and that's gone down. You've got to wonder if that was... Burge was hammered by Wilson, and really didn't get ball and left Jesse Burge on the ground. But there won't be any coming back for it. There was no foul as far as the man with the whistle's concerned. Let's just hope Jesse Burge is okay. Getting up now. Rubbing the back of his head. That says a lot about that challenge from Corey Wilson. Nelson will be delighted next week not to be travelling. Travelled down to Christchurch the last twice in the last week. They entertain Wanaka at home next week, while Nomads pay a visit to Kashmir Technical next Sunday. Flynn Holden manages to keep it in. And that's a well-earned corner by the big man from Keys. Guy Reeves wanders over, do the honours. If ever there was an opportunity, a time to get one back, this would be it. Reeves delivers well, but Keys gets up really nicely at the near post. But it does go out for another corner on the same side, again with Guy Reeves taking. Reeves floats it over. That looks quite good. Wilson got it really well. Willocks just didn't quite get it down as well as he wanted. Out to Oakman, who takes on Reynolds. He gets the better of Reynolds, and that must be another free kick. Again, Reynolds on Oakman, and because it's the second time in a few minutes, Reynolds picks up a yellow card. Promising from John Oakman. That's twice in this half that he's clearly been told to get further forward and take on his man, and he's done so twice and done well twice. Willocks with the resulting free kick. Floats it over. Wilson doesn't come. Holden got up, but just brushes the top of his head and goes out for a goal kick. No hurrying Corey Wilson. And he goes long up to a halfway line. And Vickers keeps that in nicely. That's flicked on really nicely. And TULETT does what a good defender will do. Wins the ball and then gets the throw. Burge heads on. And that's a Suburbs throw on halfway. Bunning with the honours. Looks for Vickers. Medal gets half clear, but that is just landed, I think, for Platt. Platt strong, and that's gone out for a corner. Noah Platt definitely winning that. Good work from him. Reynolds comes over. This boy can certainly deliver a cross. Taking it with his left foot. And that's floated in. Oh, Flynn Holden, good heading clearance, but out to Reynolds again. Reynolds pops it back to halfway to Ethan Turner, who feeds Bunning. Bunning chips over. Key has stayed up. That's only out to Polak. Vickers, I think he visioned that into the top corner before he hit it, and unfortunately got well underneath it. It flies way over the bar. Press is excellent from Nelson Suburbs. Real patience, waiting, making Nomads make the wrong decision. But Turner has won the ball here. An accurate pass would be good. It goes to Flynn Holden. Bit of pressure. The ball's been played straight through the centre, and Huell plays in Polak. Polak's capable of finishing in this situation and puts it wide. That was a very quick break. It's going to be very dangerous this half with Nomads chasing the game, and you can see the danger in that quick break. A wee bit like basketball when the Nomads are bringing it out. It's Huell trying to claim that was their throw. Metherell done well. Reynolds tries to keep in, can't. Burge leaves to Oakman to take the throw. Plays it quickly to Willocks. Willocks inside to Cottam. Jacob Anderson feeds Collett. Long ball from Anderson out to Guy Reeves, whose touch led him down. Mr. Culloch having a wee word with somebody. Oakman. That's headed straight out. Defensive header. Pretty much to the same location. So John Oakman will do again. Willocks makes himself available but too slow. Goes back to Metherell. Metherell will look to cross. And I have to say, if that had gone in, that would have been goal of the season. Nelson Suburbs have come here with a pretty poor record against Nomads over the last, say, 3 years. And that's a defensive mistake header, which puts the pressure on. Metherell gets a foot in. Referee just waves play on. Josh Collett, and Reynolds wins it. Can he deliver? Little chip in, and Frame claims. Frames goes for the quick goal kick, but it's straight to Nelson Suburbs. Polak picks up. Does well, beats Willock to the ball. Willock feeds and doesn't get to Bunning, and it's cleared by Anderson. Nelson have done a superb job of subduing not only Nomads as a team, but the crowd is really very quiet. The frustration. Nomads just need to stay calm. Keep seeking that opportunity. The opportunities will come. They might be few and far between, but two will take it to extra time. Bit of room for Metherell to drive, but feeds it back into Willocks, who across to Anderson. Anderson, Willocks, all looking for something. There's not a lot of movement going on in front of them. Anderson plays wide across to Metherell. Vickers comes across. Metherell out to Oakman. Oakman, quick ball that Reeves comes across to with his back to goal, but good defending from Reynolds. Sure who that was. Again, Metherell rebuilds across to Anderson, who drives forward. That's a nice ball. Cotton picks it up. This is an opportunity, and he lifts it over. And it looks like there's a substitution with Travis Myers coming on. He has been injured, bad knee injury, but he's making his comeback. And he comes on for the captain, Corey Vickers. Or no, he doesn't come in for Corey Vickers. Corey Vickers just came for a drink. I think it looks like... trying to see. Oh, yes. Noah Platt. A lot of them came over for a drink. Noah Platt didn't go back on. So it's Noah Platt has gone off. And Travis Myers, number 10, has come on. He's onside, and Metherell gets back, but that's gone for a corner, which Reynolds will come across to deliver. See here, Flynn Holden takes up the front post in the 6-yard back. Daniel Metherell, the rear, that's their zones. And there's Flynn Holden owning his zone on that one. Yeah. Caleb Cotton showing a bit of frustration there. And unfortunately, quite rightly, Mike Killock, the referee, had one option, that's the free kick. You wouldn't think this is shootable. With Myers and Reynolds standing over. I think Myers offers a left foot, I think. Good opportunity. Reynolds plays it short to Myers, and they win the corner. It's a training ground. They tried that, and that almost came off. So again, flies cross straight into the hands of Frame, who juggles a little but brings it out. Anderson plays Collett, who can bring it forward. Collett chips through, but that's far too long. Wilson goes long. Anderson should be over the top of that, which he is. Falls to Cotton. And that's to nobody. Bit of a no man's ball. Collett gets up. Bit of ping pong going on. Anderson brings it down to feet. Collett. And that's won back by Hull, which finds its way to Metherell. But quite rightly, Oakman wasn't on that occasion. but he gets it back from Frame. He's got an opportunity to drive it. Myers comes across. Willocks sees Collett with a bit of space. Collett comes inside. Needs to find a man here and can't find the man. Passing has to get better very quickly, or there'll be no way back into this game. Nomads build again. You would think that Flynn Holden may well be offside there, and he is. And we look as though we've got a second substitution for Nomads. It's Ryan Ellis coming on, and Will Turner is the man making way for him. The clock continues to tick, very much in the favour of Nelson Suburbs, still leading 2-0. Myers has done very well there and has won a free kick literally just outside the box from an acute angle. Jacob Anderson wanted to shepherd that out, but then couldn't, and it all became a bit tug and pull. I would say probably both of them at it, but Jacob can have any complaints, and this is a very dangerous position. If there was such a thing, like in hockey, a short corner, and that's what we've sort of got here. Reynolds will deliver. Frame asking Metherill to come more central. He's hit that hard. That's nodded back in. Metherill gets a half clear. Ellis can't make it before Huell does, and Frame gets a vital interception. Sorry, Burge does. And the pressure is off. Hogg pops it into touch under the pressure of Oakman. So we've got Burge and Ellis on. Both went for the long, saw Frame off his line, but and Metherill drives forward, looking for something. Can't see very much in front of him at all, unfortunately. There's got to be more movement. It goes long, and that's Reynolds deals with that beautifully. He's well offside, straight in front of us here. Huell a long way offside. Willocks. Collett plays short to Cottam with Reynolds all over his back. Ellis gets a foot, but Reynolds has done what Reynolds has been doing all day, winning challenges, distributing. Reeves does really well. Oakman brings forward. That's great. Inside Vickers, and just runs out of space, and Referee Killock gives the goal kick. There was a part of me thinking that Vickers was going to take one for the team there, but he refrained, and John Oakman just couldn't control the ball at the vital moment. Wilson goal kick. Got some good distance on that. Myers. Metherell clears. Burge heads on, but straight to Vickers and Reynolds. Hogg, bit of an up and under. Ellis chases, but Keys gets in ahead of him. Back to Keys. And Keys doesn't find his man. It's through to Frame. Collett, good running. Oh, and you would imagine there's a yellow coming out here, and that is, I think that is for number 7, Ben Polak. Not going to get away with that very often. And so I think that's the 3rd player in the book. Jacob Anderson for Nomads, Jay Anderson, and Ben Polak for Nelson Suburbs. Kenny Willocks delivers. Falls to Metherell out wide. He'll try and get it back in if he can. Oh, finds Cotton with a nice ball on the edge. That's cleared, but falls to Ellis. Ellis floats it back in. Reynolds doesn't really get that clear. And Willocks does well to the bouncing ball. Collett and Finn Holden just couldn't get the power or the strength on the header, and it falls nicely for Wilson. Back to Wilson. Oh, there's a scamper a little bit there. That's fallen to Willocks. Willocks will give it to Ellis. If Ellis can deliver here. Oh, that was almost a... Nelson gave an excellent opportunity there, and the corner is won. Guy Reeves across for the corner. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Hamish Gillett enter the fray relatively soon if this score stays like this. Comes over, won and cleared. And I think that was Ryan Ellis. And we do have 2 more substitutions for Nomads, Hugo King and Hamish Gillett coming on. Looks like Kenny Willocks is one coming off, and Josh Collett is the other. Gillett is in a rich frame of form, scoring goals. Scored 4 last week, 2 in the English Cup and 2 for the reserves. Hugo King will pretty much be holding midfield. Who else but Reynolds gets the better there, and Vickers this time. Those 2 seem to be everywhere. First touch for King. Oakman just keeps it in, and nicely dealt with by Jacob Anderson. You think this is possibly last roll of the dice for Nomads. They do have Will McKee left to bring on if they so wish. So as we head into roughly the last 15 minutes of this Deliver Easy Chatham Cup third round fixture, Nelson still pretty solid at 2-0 up. Flynn Holden, Keys comes across and he's done a good job there, and that is a corner. Or it may well be a throw. Just see. Yeah, it looks like actually it's just gone out before the flag and therefore is a throw, which John Oakman will take. Oakman goes as long as he can. Flicked on. This falls for Anderson. And it's blocked and goes out for a corner. Guy Reeves again will deliver. The extra danger to Nelson is Hamish Gillett is now on. Floats it over. Won by Hogg but not cleared. And that was smashed into Metherell, who didn't know much about it. And Killick is coming over to speak to his touch judge to see whether there was anything untoward going on in the box. Killick decides no, and that is a corner to Nomads. So Jesse Burge will take the corner. It's got a lot of air on it. Oh, that's a good clearance. I really thought the Flynn Holden was on the end of that for a minute. Hugo King, and that's another corner. Big pressure, critical moment you'd feel in this cup tie. Guy Reeves to deliver. Plays short to Hugo King. King floats it over. Won by Gillett. Half cleared. To lands to King again. King gets up well. And Myers gets half clear. He wins well in the air, Myers. And that looks as though it's going to be a real ping pong. Ellis manages to win. Metherell hacks forward. Gillett, who's playing very far forward, has won that nicely. And referee Killick, I'm not sure what the foul was for, but it's been given. Metherell wins, straight out, throw in to Nelson. Anderson up well. Half cleared. King, again, another half clearance. And Reynolds has come wide. Reynolds goes right across to Bunning, I think that is. And Bunning, unfortunately, can't take control and gives the throw in away, which is taken quickly to Jesse Burge just inside. And Burge didn't have to take it that quickly and gives it away. And it finds its way back to Frame. Frame at this stage is definitely going to go long. Reeves goes for the chip over. And Vickers, no mucking around. Huell plays it inside, but King has backed. Metherell, nice turn into Oakman. Oakman feeds Burge. And Burge wins the... Oh, and that's disappointing for Nomads, thinking that that was their throw, and it's not. So Turner will take the throw. No, Turner won't take it. Oh, it's changed it round. It is quite rightly a Nomads throw. Oakman plays it infield. Cotton under pressure from Polak, but goes across to Anderson, who drives forward. Polak putting in the work to backtrack to Cotton. Nomads boys so keen. Oh, that's a loose ball, and this is Metherell and Oakman defending against Huell. Gets it back to Frame. The Nomads boys are so like to put in a winning performance for their captain, Jacob Anderson, on his 200th game. At the moment, it does look as though Nelson are going to be the team going into the next round, unless something dramatic happens in this last 10 minutes. That's good pace from Polak, I think that might have been. Metherell into the feet of King, who turned well but then lost the ball. Oh, that's a nice challenge from Oakman. Oakman has played Guy Reeves through. Reeves needs to look up and find somebody, and that's blocked by the ever-present Vickers. Out to King. King plays it in, and that's luckily falls nicely. Now we've got Huell one-on-one with Metherell, and Metherell's defended really well there into Anderson, over to Oakman, who can rebuild. Holden falls to Reynolds. How many times have we said that today? Polak just can't control that one. Anderson into King. And loose from Ellis. Very short amount of time to go on the watch, only about 3 minutes left. 2-0, something truly dramatic will have to happen in this fixture. And there's Matt Jansen, the Nomads coach, says, quicker, quicker, urgency, urgency. And that goes long. Won by Gillett, but straight to Hogg, who hacks it forward, aiming, really not really aiming for anybody, I would say, just getting it away from the danger area. Frame rolls and hits long. Gillett's there, but a one again. Cotton wins it, plays it in over the top to Ellis, who drives, and just came on to Flynn Holdham so fast he couldn't. And that's gone cleared for a corner. delivered, half cleared and cleared into touch. King takes the throw in, looks for Burge. Burge comes inside, delivers, cleared well by, I think that was Polak. Huell gets a touch, Polak again, and Huell chases. Medal comes across, back to Frame. Needs to be quickly done if there's any hope of salvaging. Vickers again, but straight to Burge. He goes forward. That may well go straight out. And it does for a Nelson throw. Nelson looking to make a substitution or two substitutions. Jacob Lads, Sam Thomas and Fergus Keys all coming on. Lads and Thomas making their debuts. Keys only his second ever appearance. Vickers again is there for his team. Frame half clears, Polak. A wee bit of a dream into Frame's hands. Frames rolls it out to, I think that's Oakman. Oakman goes long. And that header goes back straight into the arms of Wilson, who will certainly take his time. Although Mr. Killett counts him down, as is the new rules. Motherwell back to Frame. Frame needs to go long. Frame gets decent distance. And the free kick is given against Gillett, I think. And that just gives Nelson that time to run the clock down. And they're virtually home and dry. It has been an excellent performance from Nelson Suburbs, considering they haven't beaten Nomads for several seasons. Were beaten 4-1 by them earlier on in the season up in Nelson. They've come here. They came out of the blocks firing. And it's an outstanding second half performance, hardly given Nomads a whisper. For Nomads, they have been a bit flat, it has to be said. But opposition, a good opposition can do that to you, and I would say that is what has happened today. Gillett nods on. Falls to Burge, who lays it on to Cotton, who I don't think from 25, 30 yards out on his left foot was going to trouble too many people there. Played into the young substitute. And I think that was the right decision by referee Killick. Again, Keys had a solid game as well. And they've won the free kick, and very frustrated Flynn Holden talks to Mr. Killick. You don't get much change out of Mr. Killick. So the dream of a Chatham Cup run looks as though it's coming to an end this year for Nomads. And Nelson Suburbs, who were semi-finalists last year in this Chatham Cup, will continue another potential cup run. Frame hooks that, and it's gone straight out. And that's it. The game is all over. Nelson Suburbs have come to Christchurch and taken the game 2-0. Nomads will be pretty despondent. Just couldn't fire today. And the 11-game unbeaten run is over. We look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time here at TULETT Park. We thank Kiwi Dad Promotions for this coverage today, and we wish you a very happy Sunday afternoon.